more now on the investigation into former President Trump's hoarding of classified documents. A federal judge in Florida granting the Trump legal team's request for a special master to review the records seized in the FBI raid at Mar-a-Lago. The move temporarily halting the Justice Department's use of those records in its investigation. The DOJ and Trump's lawyers now facing a Friday deadline to submit a list of proposed candidates to serve as special master. Let's bring in ABC News investigative reporter Katherine Faulders along with Jeff Robbins, former chief minority counsel to the U.S. Senate Permanent Subcommittee on Investigations. Katherine, let's go ahead and start with you. Judge Eileen Cannon, a Trump appointee, we've made that point a number of times now, granting the Trump legal team's request for this special master. So let's talk about how this will impact the investigation now. And can the DOJ do anything to move forward without using or referencing these documents?
Well, look, the Department of Justice is essentially hamstrung here in terms of their investigation. The judge said that in terms of using these materials for their criminal investigation, that they have to essentially halt that. Now, what they can do is there are two other times, Kira, when they did retrieve documents from Mar-a-Lago, those 15 boxes that we've talked about that were turned over to the archives in January, and then from a June visit. But regardless, you see those images there, all of those documents from that August 8th raid of Mar-a-Lago, when they learned that there was more information there, they can't essentially use these materials in their investigation. The question is, does that affect the grand juries that are impaneled? Does that affect witnesses? We know a number of witnesses have been questioned by the FBI and by investigators as it relates to this. That essentially, Kira, puts all of this on pause.
So, Jeff, in her ruling, Judge Cannon emphasized Trump's status as a former president, citing what she called a stigma associated with the investigation and potential reputational harm. Attorney General Merrick Garland has said that nobody is above the law and made that clear. What do you make of the judge's claims in this specific order?
Well, as with other aspects, frankly, of the judge's order, with all due respect, it's not backed up by the law or where she purports to make findings by any evidence. It's a wholly speculative ruling which says that, you know, if a special master doesn't get inserted into this process, then, my God, a potential criminal defendant may have a stigma associated to him. When has that ever been invoked for the purpose of inserting a special master or interfering with a process like this? Likely never. So the Department of Justice is no doubt finding itself this morning in a pickle and is no doubt having discussions about how to de-pickle itself.
Are you seeing bias here with this judge?
I would not say that. I am sure that from the Department of Justice's point of view, that's a concern. It's a concern that probably began from their perspective again when the judge indicated that she was inclined to grant a special master even before she had obtained the Department of Justice's position on the matter. So I'm sure that's a concern from their perspective. The hearing itself was conducted in a fair way, but there are aspects, quite frankly, of this decision that reflect a certain stretching and a bending, which I'm sure has the Department of Justice mightily concerned this morning.
Point well made. Katherine, the DOJ now has until Friday to submit potential candidates to serve as a special master in this case. Let's talk about what that process could look like and what type of person would the DOJ be vying for here?
Well, look, one thing is clear, that this person would need to have a top secret security clearance to even view these documents. Now, the judge has told in her order Trump's team and DOJ to get together and create something of a list of potential candidates that both sides will agree on, as well as their job description, for example. Of course, then that would be presented to the judge, and then she would ultimately, Judge Cannon, ultimately decide on who that person would be. She's given them until Friday, Kira, but the one thing that we still don't know that we could see this week is whether or not DOJ will appeal this.
Well, Jeff, who do you think the DOJ would want here?
Well, the Department of Justice basically finds itself in a situation which ranges from horrible all the way to miserable, because whatever they do, they have an unpleasant situation. They obviously, I think, would like to have a very fair-minded former federal judge. That would be optimal. But frankly, they are stuck ultimately with a judge that, from their perspective, is going to give the Trump team every opportunity to interfere with this process going on. So the status quo isn't great. If, however, they appeal, they have the dilemma, from their perspective again, of appealing to a bench that is heavily dominated by Trump appointees. So they're not in a great place this morning.
Jeff, Katherine, thank you both.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.